Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the All Things Leeds podcast with myself, Ed McIntyre, and joining me in the studio is, as always, my co-host, Charles Foster. Hello, Charles.
Hi, Matt. You all right?
Yeah, I'm not bad. We said that both at the same time there. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, good. I'm all right as well. Thank you for asking. Just one game, of course, to look at in this week's episode of the podcast. We'll of course be discussing Leeds United's 2-1 loss away at Millwall last Saturday. We'll dive deep into that penalty decision because that was an absolute disgrace, absolute ridiculous decision there. We'll also go over the Leeds United under-23s and the women's team briefly. Of course, it is the international break now, so we'll look at the Leeds United players who are off on international duty, as well as look at other bits of news coming out of Elland Road. We'll also discuss England, as well as, of course, we have English. That is our team. There's no Leeds game to look forward to in this week's episode, unfortunately, so we will save that for next week. You're listening to the All Things Leeds podcast. So looking back then on last Saturday's game, Leeds United, of course, losing 2-1 to Millwall away at the Den, or the New Den, whatever you want to call it. Now, I wasn't able to watch this game as I was doing media work at Farsley Celtic. Again, we were mentioned their score from the weekend. But from what I've seen and heard about the Leeds game, it seemed like an okay start. But we'll dive straight into that penalty that occurred on 16 minutes. Millwall striker Tom Bradshaw falling to the floor, and referee James Linnington pointing...
Diving to the floor.
Yeah.
Let's be accurate here with the language.
Referee James Linnington pointing to the spot to award a penalty to Millwall. And Charles, this is probably the worst decision I've ever seen in my life. It's probably the most blatant dive you will ever see.
It was horrendous. Like, if we'd have won a penalty like this, I'd be shocked. It'd be unbelievable. I think Berardi was just putting a little bit of pressure on him, just kind of hand on his shoulder, kind of just trying to put him off.
He didn't touch him.
His arm was on his shoulder a little bit as they were running, but he didn't push him over. He didn't grab his shirt. He was trying to put him off till Phillips got across, and he just. But Bradshaw went down, not like he'd been dragged down, like he'd been legged up, and there was no contact on his feet. So he blatantly dived. Yeah, he just dived to the floor. Of course, it did result in Gaetano Pavard getting sent off. Now, at first, reacting to this, I was kind of like, well, Pavardi's getting sent off again. I think he's finished at the club, really. He's always getting sent off whenever he gets a chance. You saw it?
Yeah, but then I saw the clip and I was like, well, yeah, he's done absolutely nothing.
You should always
there.
Check what a player's been sent off before you jump to conclusions.
Yeah, but Pavardi didn't do anything. Didn't even touch Bradshaw.
He got wrong side of him though initially.
He got wrong side of him. It was poor defending.
That was poor defending.
But Pavardi realised, I've messed up here. I hold my hands up. But he saw that Colin Phillips was covering. So he knew that he got wrong side of him. He knew that he had made that mistake.
I think it's fairly likely that, given Phillips's position where he was, if Bradshaw hadn't have gone down, Phillips would have tackled him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Berardi, he runs past Bradshaw, the back of Bradshaw, and once Berardi goes past him, then Bradshaw takes another touch on ball and then falls to the floor. No one's behind him when Bradshaw does start falling to the floor. It's the most obvious dive you'll ever see. I mean, the more you see it as well, the worse it gets, especially in slow motion. It looks horrendous. It's an awful decision. Of course, I think the referee did think that Berardi clipped him maybe with his feet, but even if Berardi did clip him, it shouldn't have been a red card because there was a covering player there in Calvin Phillips.
It's also the double jeopardy rule, isn't it? If you concede a penalty, you're not supposed to send the other player off.
Unless it's on purpose.
Unless you've deliberately fouled them and it's a goal score opportunity. Yeah. But given there's covering players and it's not a deliberate foul, it's not even a foul.
Yeah. But even if Berardi did make contact, it's an accident. He's ran past him and accidentally clipped him.
So, yeah, what you're supposed to do in that, if you're a competent referee with functioning eyes, which James Livingston isn't, you'd book him. You just give him a yellow, give the penalty. Yeah.
But then he didn't even deny a goal-scoring opportunity. There was covering players. It's an horrendous decision from referee James Linnington, who had a good view of the incident as well from what I saw.
He's not ref many Leeds games, but he's sent off 4 Leeds players in the games he has refed us. So
All beginning with an MB as well.
He's also a Manchester United fan. Yeah. So.
All beginning with an MB as well. He sent off Belushki, sent off Byram, sent off Bridcut, and then Bavard.
How can you have a scum fan ref a Leeds game.
Yeah.
That's Can you imagine the reverse of that? Can you imagine if you had...
Yeah, apparently he's a Manchester United fan. From the Isle of Wight, but apparently he's a Manchester United fan. We don't know that for certain, but apparently he is.
And of course the refereeing board will just say, all right, well, they're not in the same league, they're not in the same area. But if you had a Leeds fan refereeing a Man United game, they wouldn't give him anything. You'd be constantly booking scum players and sending people off and giving opposition penalties, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd be deliberately unfair. So, like, you can see it why it'd be the reverse.
Yeah.
Like in the Scum were playing Liverpool at the weekend, aren't they? If I was refereeing that, I'd be sending people off for no reason. There's not many people to send off in that Scum team because they're all dreadful. I'd probably send David De Gea off.
Yeah. But that's now James Linnington. He's sent off a player in all three of his past Leeds United games. He's refereed, of course, in that 2-1 loss at Millwall away last Saturday. The Leeds game he refereed previous to that was a 2-0 loss at home to Cardiff, where he sent a player off, and then before that, 2014, in that 4-1 loss away at Watford. So yeah, James Linnington, he's got quite a bad record. I came across this website which had comments from football fans from many years ago, but they're really hammering into James Linnington. It's on footballlineups.com.
Yeah, there's a clip of Lee Bowyer massively having a go at him as well.
Yeah, there's a TalkSport article here titled "Robbed. Lee Bowyer brands referee James Linnington a disgrace and accuses Steve Evans of bullying officials after Charlton's defeat to Peterborough." So there's an article there where Lee Bowyer was not happy with James Linnington. And also there's this article, there's this website here with many comments. So this one's from the 31st of December 2016, and it reads, "Why didn't he postpone the Reading Fulham game before kick-off? I'll never know. Only saw about 30% of the pitch for the first half, and then as the fog cleared, he abandoned the game. So he has no idea what he's doing with weather conditions." There's another one here also from October 2016 this time, between Derby and Sheffield Wednesday. Someone put, "Crap referee should be sacked for bottling a major decision in the Derby Sheffield Wednesday game. Frightened to upset a large home crowd." And it kind of felt like this. James Linnington really had a poor game, and it did feel like he was...
Millwall have never had a large home crowd, though. Let's be fair.
No, but it was here. And was he afraid of the Millwall fans?
Well, probably. I mean, I've seen him lob bloody Peroni bottles at people before, so... And he did massively bottle it. He'll have saw that, and he'll have thought, because he's a bottle job and a cheat and a scum fan and corrupt, he'll have thought, right, this is an opportunity where I can leave this ground without getting harassed. All I've got to do is make the wrong decision, let them go 1-0 up. Not only make them go 1-0 up, make Leeds go down to 10 men, and then effectively I'll have a breeze of the last 70 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, a dreadful decision. He's got a bad reputation. He needs punishing. Referees like this need to be punished. He needs to not referee another championship game at all for the rest of the season.
I have got some complaints about this running order, mate, because you've made 2 spelling mistakes.
All right, sorry. Bit of background information. Running order for Charles.
You missed an O out of Thompson, and you put Douglas rather than Douglas.
Right, I was in a rush this morning. But yeah, James Linnington and referees like this, they need punishing because it was a dreadful decision early on as well in 16 minutes, and it completely ruined the game.
It did. It
completely ruined the game.
Well, 16 minutes in, we're playing with 10 men for 76 plus added time. At the New Den at Millwall away, where Lionel's are going to bottle it, the referee's going to bottle it. There was one point where I don't know which Millwall player it was. I don't know if you recorded this. He got booked for a heavy challenge, and then 5 minutes later, he 2-footed Phillips in a foul. It was given as a foul, and he didn't get sent off.
Yeah. It's atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. Officiating in this league is horrendous. There is a serious problem with officiating in the Championship, and it needs sorting. For you, do you think Leeds United are done by quite a lot by officials?
You don't like to think like that, do you? You like to think that
they're all fair.
That we're all just paranoid and that we're just annoyed for being in this league so long.
But after this, quite a lot of fans came out and pointed it out. Fans who aren't Leeds fans came out and pointed it out. This is dreadful, and you need to question it.
There is a lot of bias against Leeds. Like the Sky report didn't mention the fact that it was a blatant dive.
Yeah.
I mean, who came out and said it was?
The referee on Sky Sports.
No, Chris Kamara tweeted that immediately that it was just a dive.
Yeah.
But nobody on Sky Sports said anything.
No.
Just went, it's a penalty.
Not in any reports even.
Yeah,
none of them mentioned.
Absolutely not. It's never mentioned. And Because on the Quest highlights, I think Stephen Warnock said it was very, very harsh, but, irrelevant really, isn't it, at the end of the day. Even though, I mean, we can talk about the fact that it's been overruled, but Bradshaw's not been punished for it. Because it was declared enough contact, enough contact to not be referred to deceiving the referee.
Yeah, that's really weird, isn't it? So so after this, it was a blatant dive, clear to see, especially on replays. And Leeds United announced on Monday that they would appeal it, which they did, and the FA looked at it, and surprise, they did overturn.
It was a surprise. I expect them to double the ban.
They did overturn Bavardi's red card on the grounds that he didn't deny an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Which of course it didn't. There was Calvin Phillips there, so he won't be suspended, which of course is good. I mean, we're short players as it is right now. We don't need anyone out with suspension.
We've got the international break, so
however, what isn't correct is that the FA, a three-man panel, looked at the incident and believed that there was not contact made. Oh, there was contact made.
So what they've said there, what the FA have said there, is that it was a pen, but he was wrong to send you off. When in reality, it wasn't a pen, and he was wrong to send you off.
Surely it's either or, is it not?
No, because all the panel have said there is that he hasn't denied a clear goal scoring opportunity, so he shouldn't have been sent off. They've not disagreed with the fact the referee gave a pen. They think that is a penalty.
It's not.
No, I'm not saying it is, but that's what they think.
Yeah.
These professional referees, even Dermot Gallagher on Sky Sports, who regularly comes out with utter shite when it comes to Leeds. Even he said, right, that isn't a pen, and it's also definitely not a red card.
Yeah.
And the man is biased all the time.
Yeah, so the FA reviewed it of a penalty incident, but felt it did not meet the threshold to refer to a relevant panel to decide if it was a successful deception of a match official. But it was a successful deception of a match official. It won a penalty.
He successfully deceived the ref
sent off.
into getting the opposition sent off, and deceived the ref into giving him a penalty. So in fact, that's two deceptions for the referee.
Yeah. But he's not going to be punished for simulation. I'm just confused because surely it's either or. Either Bavardi hasn't touched him and he shouldn't be sent off, or Bavardi has touched him and he does deserve a red card.
There is a shining light in this sea of bad news. Tom Bradshaw had his car nicked last month, so he did have his car stolen. So
shining light, yeah.
We can be bitter about it. I hope someone's kind of joyriding in it and just abandoned it in a field somewhere.
But Bavardi, he's not suspended now, but Tom Bradshaw, he will not be punished, which just makes no sense to me. But that is the decision. But back onto the game. So horrible ref, James Linnington. He had a very poor game. But of course, the penalty, Jed Wallace stepped up and smashed the penalty into the top left corner, sending Casilla the wrong way. A really good penalty, in all fairness, but it should have never come about. The penalty should not have happened.
Would have been funny if he missed it.
It would have been great if he missed it. But we kept on pushing on despite being a man down. Should we have had a penalty, Charles, in the first half? Challenge on Jack Harrison. Malum Romeo, he seemed to just kick Jack Harrison's ankles.
I mean, yes. I mean, given that if good referees are consistent, they're either consistently poor or consistently harsh with fouls. That was no more a foul than the one that Brady allegedly did on Bradshaw. Harrison cuts back. Romeo clumsily swings his leg into Harrison's shins, and he goes down. It looks a bit soft because of the way Harrison falls, but in reality, you've just booted somebody in the shins, and that's a penalty.
Yeah, Harrison should have probably stayed down a bit longer. He did get up quite quickly. He should have stayed down, rolled about, and maybe he would have won it. But we should have had a penalty there for me. It did go 2-0 just before half-time. Tom Bradshaw scoring. It's a really poor goal to concede, this one, isn't it? Poor defending from Leeds. Yes, we had 10 men, but really poor defending. So Ben Thompson on the left played a nice ball over Helder Costa, who was playing at right back at this point. Played it to Shane Ferguson on the left. He crossed in, and Bradshaw got in front of Failing to roll the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. But it's a really poor goal, really poor defending. by Leeds United there. But I mean, we had 10
held the
men,
cost of playing at right back.
Yeah, held the cost of playing at right back. Elland playing at centre back, which he hasn't really played for many years. And we had 10 men as well. But a really poor goal to concede. So we're 2-0 down at half time with 10 men. So we had a tough mountain to climb really in the second half.
We scored within about 20 seconds of the second half started.
Yeah, so Barry Douglas, he comes on for Helder Costa at half time. I mean, no surprise there because we were short on defenders at that point. But yeah, we scored 20 seconds into the second half, a perfect start in the second half. So Clay Key laid the ball off to Jack Harrison on the right. His low cross found ALAW to tap in to make it 2-1. That's now 2 goals in 2 games for ALAW. We've got a goal scorer on our hands.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I mean, we at least we won one of the games. The more important one, arguably. It was just disappointing that we weren't able to create any more chances for the rest of the game. It just felt like we didn't really do anything for the rest of the game.
I mean, and we dominated the game in terms of possession. Millwall created a lot more chances than us, but we dominated the game on possession, passes, but we just couldn't create anything.
Yeah, because they just stacked the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, they had more men in their box. They had more Millwall players in their box than we had players on the pitch. So.
And we just couldn't get anything. We couldn't fashion any opportunities.
Yeah, it was tough for us. So 10-man Leeds weren't able to bounce back and draw a level, and of course we ended up losing the game 2-1. Not good. Not a good loss. That.
Well, no, but we always lose down at the Den, don't we?
Yeah,
annoyingly.
we do. Yeah.
This time wasn't really our fault, but we still lost.
Yeah.
It's just a bit. We're not playing poorly. That's the annoying thing. We're just getting screwed over constantly.
Yeah, by poor officiating
and bad luck, and you don't like to. We are making excuses. But you don't like to make excuses. We are playing well, but if we could just have a game where someone isn't given a dodgy penalty against us, or someone isn't injuring one of our captain on purpose and not getting sent off for it, like Robson Kanu, or Pablo Hernandez is back fit, or Forshaw just kind of, or even Shackleton back fit in the midfield. One of them would be nice. Yeah. We just seem we're absolutely cursed. Feels like we're cursed.
We really are. That's now 3 losses in our last 5 games. Of course, the other 3 games, or the other couple of games was a win and draw. But not good form at all, really. This 3 losses in 5 games. Something's not right at the moment. What do you think is happening, Charles, and what needs changing for you?
We don't seem to be making enough kind of penetrating runs into the box. It always seems like it's all right because we always try and cross it, and our crossing's not very good. When our crossing is good, when Dallas or Harrison or ALAW occasionally puts in a good ball, it appears to be Bamford kind of fighting an entire back line by himself. We don't seem to get enough players in the box. We seem to like hanging around outside the box, and if you're going to hang around outside the box, that's fine, but you don't cross the ball in. You take long shots, or you try and chip the ball over the top and run in. Yeah. But we just seem to be crossing the ball back to people.
But we do attack down the wings. That's
we do attack down the wings. We don't get. There's no point attacking down the wings if you don't have anybody in the dangerous areas.
If you don't have any quality on the wings.
Because we are putting in good balls occasionally, but it just seems like Click's always on the edge of the box. Shackleton, he's playing, always on the edge of the box. Bamford's in the middle, but he's the only one. And if the ball doesn't fall to him, he can't get on it. And if he does get on it, he'll fire it wide, he'll fire it high, or he'll get it on target, but the keeper will make a reasonably comfortable save. We just don't seem to be able to do much at the moment. But we are missing, if you think about it, we're missing our captain, centre back, Forshaw, experienced midfielder, Pablo Hernandez, most experienced player. So we're missing, arguably, the spine of the team, basically.
Are we missing Pablo Hernandez, do you think? We seem to be missing that real number 10 who's just going to create everything. And Pablo, there's stats there. When Pablo's playing, we create, on average, like 12 and a half chances per game. When he's not there, I think it's fallen down to 8. There's a small margin, but it's clear there that Pablo Hernandez, when he is playing...
That's not a small margin, that's by a third.
but there is evidence there that when Pablo Hernandez is playing, we do create a lot more.
Yeah, even when he's kind of off the boil a bit, we do seem to be missing that kind of magical element he can bring, that spark of inspiration. Yeah. He didn't even have to start. We can bring him off the bench, but I think after the international break, I'd be surprised if he and Forshaw weren't fit. I think they will be fit after the international break.
Yeah, hopefully they are. But yeah, it's not good form. 3 losses in 5 games now. Something is just not working. Something does need changing. Is it time to start worrying for you? Yeah, a lot of people were panicking after this game. Remember, we didn't have Forshaw, Pablo Hernandez, Captain Liam Cooper, and James Shackleton, who is the main cover for the midfielders. So we were without those 4 players for this game, as they're all out with injuries.
I'm not worried. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to win the league. And that's not me being negative. No. I just don't think you can lose 3 games in 11, your first 11. If you lose 3 games by Christmas, you can probably win the league.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be autos or more likely playoffs again, which will hurt.
but you're not worrying about not finishing with top 6 yet?
No, I'm not. Absolutely not. I think we will finish in the top 6. I've got concerns that we may not finish in the top 2. But obviously, they're not serious concerns.
Can't get carried away.
No, I'm not getting carried away. And it's not just after the Millwall game. It was the Charlton game. That was one where we had 11 men.
But we have been without some key players.
Oh, we have been as well. But we've lost, like the Swansea game as well, the Forest game. These are games we should have been winning, and we're not winning them. And if you don't win games you should win, you struggle.
Yeah,
and we should have picked up a lot more points than we have got right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not worried that we won't finish in the top 6 because we will. We just will. This league is garbage. We will finish in the top 6. Yeah. I'm not writing off top 2. I just don't think we'll win the league.
Yeah. But it's not time for Bielsa out yet.
No.
So yeah, after that loss to Millwall, we did drop down to 5th place in the Championship table on 20 points. That record of not dropping below 4th has gone, unfortunately.
Cheers, Jim.
Yes, but we are now 5th in the Championship table on 20 points, just 2 points behind Nottingham Forest, who are in 2nd, and West Brom, who are the league leaders now. But also just 2 points above Charlton, who are in 10th. So the table is still very, very close. There's no need to panic yet. The table is still very, very tight.
Well, yeah, I mean, look how terrible Norwich were.
At the start of last season,
the start of last season, then they went on to win the league very, very comfortably.
Aston Villa, they were poor for the majority of the season, then came up at the end.
Yeah, but they just about managed to finish 5th. They only did that because they won the last 10 games or something stupid.
Yeah,
they came from like the middle of nowhere, and then went up. So yeah, it's possible, but.
Is there fear for you, though, that we could fall behind?
There's always that fear, isn't there?
Yeah. But it is still very close now. There's no need to panic yet.
I think I don't really rate Pep Clotet's Birmingham that much. Nothing against the lad. I liked him at Leeds, but I just don't think his squad's that good. I think that club's got a lot of problems. I think we'll beat him. So I'm not worried.
Yeah, hopefully. Of course, we do go into an international break now, so we have to stew over this for the next week or so. For you, is the international break coming up at a good time?
Yeah.
Especially considering the injuries, or would you rather play just straight away?
I'd rather have a 3-week international break, mate, personally, just to get all injured players back.
Yeah.
But we only get 2.
Yeah.
So...
I was speaking to because I do major work at Celtic. Last weekend I spoke to the manager Adam Lakeland, and we would be playing next week away at Kidderminster Harriers. I'm playing away against Kidderminster Harriers next weekend. We should be, but Kidderminster Harriers had to postpone that game because they have a few players on international duty, which is just bizarre. National League Northside, a 6th tier English football team, have players on international duty. I mean, fair play to them.
Who are they playing for?
I think a few of them are for the youth teams. I think Kidderminster Harriers have got a guy on loan from like Liverpool who's in the England youth setup, and another guy who plays for. I think it's what is it? Bermuda, I think. So yeah, that game's been called off. So Farsley out playing on non-league day, which is just atrocious.
Don't tell Chris about the Bermuda shirt, because he'll buy it.
Yeah, but I asked him because we lost at the weekend, got battered 5-0 at home against Southport in the FA Cup third qualifying round. But I asked him after a loss, do you want a break or do you want to go out there straight away and play? And he said, you want to go out there and play straight away.
Yeah, Ben White said the same thing when he got interviewed. He refused to comment on the Brady red card, which is smart because he'll probably get banned if he did.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. But he said, yeah.
Because it's not nice to sit on a...
He said we'd rather play on Tuesday.
Yeah, because it's not nice to sit on a loss for a long, long time. But then again, you do consider having injuries, and I think that this international break is quite kind of coming up at a good time. So our key players aren't missing too many games. But yeah, of course, international break, and the next game is, of course, the Centenary game against Birmingham City on the 19th of October, which we will, of course, look ahead to in next week's podcast. But moving on, just to go over quickly, the Leeds United under-23s. They played against Birmingham City under-23s in the Premier League Cup last Friday night. The game was played up at Tadcaster, which always seems to get a good crowd from the Leeds United fans. You up there, Charles? So
yeah, I went with my dad. Had a pint. It were nice.
Yeah, was it a good game? It finished 0-0. Birmingham, they did go down to 10 men.
Because Bogus went in on goal and he just got 2-footed from behind, so it was a definite red card.
Yeah,
there was one chance where Bogus intercepted the ball high up the pitch. He was by far the best player. Was Bogus.
Oh yeah, Bogus is standing out for me in the 23s. I think he definitely needs to be in that first team.
I'm impressed with McKinstry as well, but he probably needs a bit more time.
Yeah. How long did Birmingham have 10 men for?
I think they got the red card in about 40 minutes.
So really, we should have won the game then.
Yeah, there was a couple. There should have been a pen. We should have had a pen as well.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the game, we should have had a pen. But yeah, we should have really scored.
Yeah. Was it fairly uneventful, the game? 0-0?
There's a few chances. I think Bogus sent a free kick just wide, direct free kick. We had a few shots on target. There was one where Mesley had a brilliant game actually. They went in on goal. And the Birmingham player volleyed it so hard, it hit Meslier in the face and knocked him out for about 5 minutes. So there was like 5 minutes where nothing happened because they thought they were going to have to stretch him off, but he woke up and was all right to keep playing.
Good.
So he's not injured. It took one hell of a hit to the face. It was like, when you're younger and you'd be playing football and someone volleyed the ball straight in your face. And I once had it where it bust my nose.
Yeah.
Because it was so cold when I was playing, I didn't feel it. And so my nose was, bleeding everywhere. Someone said, "Are you all right, mate? Do you want to come off?" I was like, "What are you on about?" It's like bleeding everywhere. But it knocked him clean out.
Oh, wow.
But he was okay.
Yeah, good. He's all right. But yeah, 0-0 despite Birmingham having 10 men. So 0-0 draw there.
It's like a group stage thing anyway with that. It's like there's 3 or 4 teams in the group. So it's like a 0-0. So
that's why I didn't go to extra time.
Yeah, no extra time penalties. It's just a point in the group.
So, yeah. Nice. Quick mention for the Leeds United ladies. They beat South Shields ladies 4-1 in the FA Cup last Sunday up at Thorpe Arch. 2 goals from Abby Brown and then goals from Rebecca Hunt and Shannon Durkin helped the Leeds ladies win 4-1, which is great. A big congratulations to them on their win. They seem like a really good team.
Yeah,
Leeds United women, which is great to see.
I think it's 5 games unbeaten now for them, so they're having a good season. You'd like to see them promoted because obviously the Leeds United ladies have kind of suffered a bit in the kind of past 10 years or so with
we haven't had
I don't know if it was Chelino or GFH or Bates. One of them got rid of the team entirely.
Yeah, Ravazani brought it back.
Yeah, he got it back. So it's nice to see him doing well and hopefully can they finished like 4th or 5th last season.
Yeah,
so something like that. So yeah, if they get just go one step further now, I'm sure they can. I think they made a couple more signings as well. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them do well this season.
Yeah, they look like a very good team.
Yeah.
And the main Leeds United accounts are now giving them a lot more coverage, which is really great to see. I saw it on Twitter. I watched the highlights of the game against South Shields on the club's official YouTube channel, which is great. And they need more coverage. They need more coverage. They deserve more coverage.
There's a kind of a big expansion in the women's game at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, well, it's doing well.
Yeah, because of the World Cup and the Euros and things. So you'd expect, with the Americans winning the World Cup, you'd expect the kind of domestic game to get the kind of similar attention.
Yeah.
There's I think obviously BBC are putting a lot more.
I think BT, they had a West Ham versus Spurs game.
Yeah, they're putting a lot more effort into
and that was the first women's game to be played at Premier League ground. So it was played at the West Ham ground, the London Stadium. So women's football is forever growing, which is great. What do you think of women's football? A lot of people think that it's not as good as men's football. I get quite entertained by it. I think it's quite good. Yes, I think men's football is a lot more skillful, but women's football still is entertaining. It still is good to watch.
I mean, it's not it's not sexist to say that men are generally bigger and faster because they are, but football's football. Like you can watch. Sometimes you can watch people playing games in a park and it'd be interesting. So, not that I'm comparing women's games to games in a park. But let's clarify that. But the football's football, so football is always entertaining. And if you're watching, if I can watch women's football.
Yeah.
I prefer watching. It's similar to men's football. I prefer watching teams I'm invested in. So I'd rather watch England women and Leeds United ladies than any other women's team.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the same with the men's. I'm not really interested in watching anyone apart from Leeds and England.
Yeah, I mean,
for the men's.
Yeah, for me, I mean, being a sports journalist, I'm a big sports fan, big football fan. I'll just watch anything that's on, really. Every time I switch on the TV, I'll just go to sports channels and just watch whatever's on. Women's football, it's good. I quite like it.
Obviously, where friend of the podcast, Stats, covers the Leeds United ladies frequently.
Yeah, he does. He will be on the podcast next week. We'll start to look ahead to his book launch, which is next week. But yeah, women's football is good. I enjoy it, and it's good that they're getting a lot more coverage. Women's football is good quality, though there was some very questionable goalkeeping from the South Shields goalkeeper.
There's questionable goalkeeping in the men's game.
No, but this was very, very questionable. If you watch highlights, you will. Very questionable. But yeah, women's football is good, and it's good that they're getting more coverage. And again, a big congratulations to them on their 4-1 win. The FA Cup last Sunday over South Shields. Moving on then to other bits of news. Even Bravo, he's left Leeds United. He stepped down from the board of directors. Of course, he arrived before the 17-18 season, and apparently after that season, he hasn't really spent much time at Leeds. Of course, he did a good job with the Aspire Academy and all the links to Qatar and elsewhere.
Did he, though? Did he do a good job? I've never really understood the kind of Qatar links. Nothing's really.
I mean, I know that we've sent a few youngsters over there to play.
Yeah, to play in a few tournaments, but we can do that in this country. I've never really understood what the point of the whole Qatar link thing was.
Yeah,
we never really. It wasn't like they were creating like gems over there and then sending them over to Leeds. That never happened. So I'm not really sure what his job actually was.
Yeah.
So how big of a loss he is to the club. Doesn't really seem like a big one to me.
I think the partnership is going to continue as well. I think even Bravo, he's just left to do other things. Leeds United stated on their website. They also said that it will be welcomed back with open arms if he ever wants to visit again or get a job back at Leeds again. He will be welcomed back to. But yeah, even Bravo, he's left the board of directors. Not really much to say on the guy. I didn't know much about him.
He was never a public figure. He never did an interview. He was never really seen or heard.
Yeah, I think he came from Real Madrid as well.
He was
So,
confusing member of the Leeds United board at the best of times.
Yeah. So even Bravo, he's left the board of directors.
Speaking of confusing men, and we'll talk about Victor Orta in a minute, don't we?
Yeah. So Andrea Revzani, Angus Kinnear, and I think Victor Orta. I think I saw him. They've been over spending time in San Francisco, of course, over in California in America. They've been watching the San Francisco 49ers. They watched the 49ers beat the Cleveland Browns 31-3. It's great to see that partnership with the 49ers is still going strong.
Yeah, hopefully they'll give us some more money. Obviously they've got to kind of maintain business relationships and show an interest. I don't really like American football. I don't
really follow it.
I think it's for rugby, for people who can't play rugby, personally. Yeah. But yeah,
I just don't like all the stopping and starting in American football.
It's in baseball. It's American sports in general. There's no consistency. There's no constant play.
I like basketball and I like ice hockey.
Even basketball, there's 4 stoppages a game.
Yeah, but I like ice hockey as well. But American football is never really.
They have to stop all the time, and obviously with American football, because Americans kind of lose interest very quickly. If someone doesn't score every 10 seconds, then the game is boring. So that's why Americans never got into football. They're you always see when Americans interviewing footballers, from like LA Galaxy or something like that, they always go, it's feasible that a game can end 0-0, can't it? Like, yeah, but it doesn't really often happen. It happens now and again, but not really often.
Is that why they always sign these big-time strikers?
They're always like, well, why would you go see it if no one scores? It's like, because you like the game. Yeah. You can appreciate you can have. I've seen really entertaining 0-0 draws.
Yeah, we all have.
that really shouldn't have been 0-0 draws.
Yeah. They always seem to buy big time strikers over there in America, don't they?
Yeah,
Ibrahimovic, Rooney.
It's a retirement league. So 67-year-old Ibrahimovic goes over.
Yeah.
But Wayne Rooney goes over. Beckham went over. David Villa went over. They just take everyone who's finished in Europe, who kind of won everything, and can't be bothered running anymore, goes to go play in the MLS. Not to disparage the league, obviously.
But back onto the partnership. So Ramazani, Kinnear also over in San Francisco watching the 49ers. Great to see that.
I think they won as well.
I just mentioned 49ers beat Cleveland Browns 31-3 at San Francisco.
Hammered them, man, 31-3.
Yeah, I mean, if that's how it works, yeah. I mean,
I'm not sure how much each touchdown is worth.
Yeah, but
see, that's the point. The sport makes no sense.
They're over there. Good to see that partnership with the 49ers going strong. Elsewhere, Pablo Hernandez, he's walking out with Josh Warrington at Josh Warrington's next fight this Saturday at the Leeds First Direct Arena. Warrington facing Sofian Takouch. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Warrington's facing Sofian for the IBF World Heavyweight Championship. Pablo Hernandez walking him out. Pablo, be careful. don't get injured even more.
I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, just don't get involved. I mean, Pablo Hernandez already looks like he's been punched in the face, to be honest.
No, he doesn't. He's a good-looking lad, is Pablo.
His eyes, though.
He's just got haunted eyes.
Yeah.
It looks like he's seen terrible things that he can't talk about. They're just like the intense kind of dark swirls.
Yeah.
You can't really look him in the eyes very often. You'll just see your own nightmares.
Pablo Hernandez, he's walking out with Josh Warrington at his next fight this Saturday. Warrington should win. I've never really heard of the guy. He's not really a big time opponent. It's at the First Direct Arena here in Leeds. So Josh Warrington, he should win. Probably win on points. There's never really any knockouts in the lightweight division. For the IBF World Lightweight division, not the World Lightweight Championship. I put heavyweight in the script here, but it's lightweight championships. Josh Warrington is definitely not heavyweight.
No, he weighs about 5 stone less than me and you. I've met him. He's all muscle.
Yeah, I've met him a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, he's I think he's about 2 inches shorter than me, but he only weighs like 8 stone. But it's 8 stone of muscle. He didn't have any fat on him.
Yeah, it's just muscle. Yeah, Pablo Hernandez walking out with Josh Warrington at his next fight this Saturday, which he should win. Hopefully, he does win. Good luck to him. And finally, Leeds United's game away at Reading on Tuesday, the 26th of November, has been selected for Sky TV broadcast. Surprise, surprise. Leeds United always on TV, of course. The date and kick-off time hasn't changed, so it's still it was on Tuesday anyway, and it's still on that day, and it's still an 8 p.m. kickoff, which is nice to be the main game on Sky TV. I probably won't be going to the game, so it'd be nice to watch
8 p.m. kickoff.
8 p.m. kickoff.
So we are the latest kickoff then. Brilliant. Like 15 minutes after everybody else.
Yeah, they'll probably change it from 7:45 to 8 p.m. I think a few things said that it's been changed from 7:45 to 8 p.m. But yes, still on the same date though. Yes, nice to be the main game on Sky Sports. Be nice to watch it. I won't be going to it, so it'll be nice to watch on TV. And it's also nice for Sky Sports to tell us early as well, unlike Leeds United, who announced last Tuesday that there's this hospitality package you can buy for the centenary game against Birmingham City at Elland Road after the international break, of course, on the 19th of October. It costs £150, also up to £180 or so. They're like telling us things very last minute. They've announced this very expensive package with 11 days to go.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think many people are going to buy it. I mean, it's just £150 is extortionate, but if football's a business, if you're enough of a sucker to pay £150 to stand in the hospitality area, do you deserve to lose your money, personally? just watch the game.
Yeah.
Go on your season ticket, buy a normal ticket, just go.
Yeah, so this hospitality package, £150 with 11 days to go. Not great for the regular fan. That's now the Centenary Pavilion closed because they've got who is it? Lucas Radebe in the Centenary Pavilion, so that's now closed for the regular fans.
With the 5 people that will pay £150.
I mean, it's stupid. It's not great. The centenary celebrations, they need to be for the fans. But instead it's just a way of making.
If they just charge like £50, fair few people would have gone and seen that for £50.
Yeah, but you're not spending £150 with 11 days in advance. It's stupid. Yeah, I'm not happy about it really. But what can you do? But it should still be good for centenary celebrations for the Birmingham game on the 19th. Should still be good. Should still be a very good occasion. I'll be at Leeds United announcing that very last minute. But yeah, that's all the news then. So moving on, of course, it's the international break. So there's plenty of Leeds United players who are going to represent their country over the next couple of weeks. So we're starting with the youth players. So Ryan Edmondson, he's been called up to the England under-19 squad for their 2 games in the Marbella International Cup, which sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never heard of it, but I'll assume it's all right.
Never have I. They're against France and then against Belgium. Both played at the Marbella Football Centre in Malaga over in Spain. Jack Clark, he's been called up to the England under-20s.
I wish I was going to Spain in the next 2 weeks.
Jack Clark, he's called up to the England 20 side for their games away at Italy and then away at the Czech Republic. Kunte Manuskov, he's been named in Bulgaria's under-21s for their home game against Serbia and then away game against Latvia. Ilan Meslier, he's in France's under-21 side for their games against Azerbaijan at home and then against Slovakia away. Alfred McAlmont, he's in the Northern Ireland under-21 side for away games against Denmark and Romania. Mateusz Bogusz, he's in the Poland under-21 side for an away game against Russia and then a home game against Serbia. And then Eddie Nketiah, who will class as a youth player, he's named in the England under-21 side for games against Slovenia away and then Austria at home. First teamers then, Stuart Dallas has been called up to the Northern Ireland squad for their crucial Group C match away at the Netherlands. Northern Ireland, they're currently tied on 12 points with Germany at the top of their group after 5 games. Netherlands are trailing by 3 points with a game in hand, so it is a very, very big game, that one, for Northern Ireland. So hopefully
Stuart
if they
get
Dallas,
a draw, then they're through, aren't they?
Yeah, so hopefully Stuart Dallas and Northern Ireland do well. Remember, the Netherlands do have a game in hand.
We'll have to win it then.
Yeah, big game that takes place on Thursday the 10th of October, 7:45pm kickoff UK time. Hopefully they'll win against Netherlands away at Netherlands. It'll be tough for them, but of course, hopefully they do come out that strong. Hopefully Stuart Dallas.
I mean, I've got no feelings either way on Northern Ireland because I've got no connection to the country. But I hope Stuart Dallas does well.
I really hope Stuart Dallas does well as well, and Northern Ireland do well. Then they've got a friendly game away at Czech Republic. Just send him back after the big game. Just send him back. Don't let him play in the friendly. Just send him back. Send him back uninjured.
How annoying would it be if he got injured in the friendly?
Yeah, that'd be awful. That'd be awful. Just don't play him in the friendly, please.
He will do. He's like one of the most senior players.
Yeah. Moving on, Tyler Roberts, he's named in the Wales squad for their 2 Group E games. They're away at Latvia and then at home against Croatia. Wales, they're currently 4th in Group E and 4 points behind the leaders, Croatia. So big games for them too.
Hopefully Tom Lawrence isn't driving him down to Wales.
Oh dear. Moving on, Alioski, he's in the North Macedonia squad for their 2 Group G games. First at home against Slovenia and then away at Poland, where he'll be taking on Leeds United teammate Mateusz Klich, as he's been called up to the Poland squad for their away game against Latvia and then of course at home against North Macedonia. Alioski versus Klich should be interesting.
It's like the 2 biggest shithouses in the club on opposite sides. That can only end well.
Yeah, it should be very interesting.
I mean, Klich will play centre mid and Alioski will play left wing, so they won't go near each other most of the game probably.
But yeah, it should be interesting. Alioski versus
probably mark each other on corners, make sure each other get a goal.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Alioski versus Klich. Poland the top of that group in North Macedonia and 4th. So let's see who brings home the bragging rights. Let's see who brings the bragging rights back.
Could be a draw, mate.
Leeds United.
Could easily be a draw.
Yeah, but yeah, that's interesting. That'll be an interesting one to watch. Calvin Phillips and Ben White, they haven't been called up to any national side. Instead, those two are
for ludicrous reasons.
Yeah, they're with their lady partners over in Iceland. Nice to see
flying about on scooters
and chilling in the Blue Lagoon. Nice to see that they've grown a good friendship.
Yeah, obviously you want the lone players to kind of feel at home. you don't know how Ben White would adjust, given he's from Brighton and has a very posh accent. I know he's moved to the middle of Leeds, where being posh is kind of being it's like having a disease. You just get frowned on. But he seems to have settled in well. He's very popular with the fans. Seems to be popular with the team. Seems like a nice kind of steady lad, does Ben White. So my mate's met him, bumped into him while wandering around Leeds.
Yeah.
He got a photo with him, and my mate insisted that his own girlfriend, not Ben White's girlfriend, his girlfriend wasn't in the photo. His girlfriend wanted to be in the photo with him. He refused to let her in. He just wanted the photo with Ben White on his own.
Harsh.
I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to see the Calvin's making friends.
yeah. That's really good that they've got a good partnership. Hopefully,
that sounded quite condescending. Calvin's probably got a few mates.
Yeah, but hopefully that helps us with securing Ben White permanently at the end of the season, or vice versa. Brighton could sign Calvin Phillips, which would just be shit.
That would be terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the ideal scenario is we go up, they go down, they sell us Ben White for £3 million. No, that is the ideal scenario.
Yeah, probably what happened though.
No, they'll probably stay up. We may go up, and then they'll charge us £7 million.
Yeah, hopefully that does help us sign Ben White. Or, I mean, yeah, Calvin Phillips got to Brighton. That'll just be awful.
I mean, there's kind of rumours that he wants to stay here permanently anyway.
Yeah, well, he's making friends
because he plays every week here.
Yeah, he's playing every week. He's making good friendships with Calvin Phillips, of course, away
rather than
sitting
on the bench at Brighton.
Yeah, so yeah. They look like they're enjoying themselves, which is good. A nice break, time off. Just don't crash for scooters, please. Just don't injure yourselves.
Oh, that'd be awful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be awful.
They've been in Blue Lagoon though, which I've been to, which is awesome. Definitely recommend doing that.
I've never been there. But yeah, that's all the Leeds United players on international duty. A big congratulations to them all for being called up to represent their country. Good luck to them all as
don't
well.
Get injured.
And yeah, hopefully they all return to Leeds injury free. Just don't get injured, please. We don't need any more injuries or players out. England. Let's discuss England briefly, as of course that is our team. We are English. They've got two Euro 2020 qualifiers coming up. First is away against Czech Republic, and then they're away at Bulgaria. You'd expect England to pick up maximum points in these games.
You would, but I mean, kind of qualifications pretty much nailed on already. But yeah, you'd expect them to beat Bulgaria. Or did they hammer them? I don't actually want to hammer them. Was it hammer when they beat them, or was it Kosovo they hammered? It was 5-3 against Kosovo. I can't remember what the score against Bulgaria was.
I think that was like 5-0 or 4-0.
Yeah, I think it was 4-0. I think we just hammered them. So you'd expect another hammer. Czech Republic, I've not seen much of them recently, but you'd expect a decent result against them.
Yeah.
So
predictions?
I think we'll beat them both fairly comfortably. I won't go for scores, but I think we'll be 2 wins.
Yeah, I think we'll win them both as well. England are 3 points clear at the top of Group A with just a few games left to play, and they've got a game in hand as well on the rest of the 4 teams in the group. So you'd also expect England to qualify for Euro 2020.
Well, yeah. You always expect England to qualify for the tournament. It's ludicrous when England don't qualify. Do you remember when we didn't qualify with the golden generation?
That was horrendous.
Was that Euro 08 or something when we didn't qualify, or was it Euro 08 or Euro 06? One of the one where Steve McLaren was in charge and we didn't qualify. That was awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd expect us to qualify. We are semi-finalists in the World Cup. We were was it semi-finalists in the Nations League as well? So
yeah,
you'd expect us to go a reasonable distance.
Yeah.
We did have a slightly fortunate path in the World Cup where we didn't really play anybody hugely difficult till the end. But I'm confident in this team, and I think every time I see Raheem Sterling play for England, he gets better.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Are you looking forward to the games? Will you be watching them?
Yeah, I always watch them.
Who you looking forward to seeing the most? For me, it's Jadon Sancho. We don't see him play in England, and he looks like a very good player.
That's true. We don't see him play in England, but I always look forward to watching Sterling because he's just an exciting player.
Yeah,
I enjoy seeing him. And as a Leeds fan in the Championship, seeing Raheem Sterling play, I don't really see it around. I only see him like highlights on Match of the Day, so seeing him for 90 minutes is One can dream, can't you? I don't think we'll ever have that calibre of player again.
Yeah. But yeah, that does bring us then to the end of episode 38 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me in the studio.
Cheers for having me on, Matt.
And thank you to everyone else as well who listened or watched. We really do appreciate it. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, then why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if you're listening on there. Share the podcast around as well. It will help us out. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you have not already. Me and Charles, we will be back next week. And as we said earlier, we'll be joined by Andrew Stats-Dalton to look ahead to his book launch. We will be back next week. We'll see you then. Take care and goodbye.